Hey everybody, looks like I'm live now. I'm just gonna get myself together and get ready for this stream. I'm gonna wait just a minute till I get a few people on here. How's everybody doing on this Sunday? Hey Jules, how you doing? All right, I got my chat right here. This should be okay. All right. Hey everybody, looks like I'm live now. There's my feedback. I'm just gonna get myself together. There we go. All right. Hey Sara. Hi class. So I'm Linda. Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm doing this on my YouTube channel. This is a substitute teaching class for Andrew Weston and his Galactic Force team. He is traveling, and we are stepping up to substitute teach, which actually I'm nervous about, which is kind of funny because I taught for quite a while, and I've had my own YouTube channel for over a year now, and I've done teachings and everything, but like, I guess I was nervous because I was, thinking that I'd have to teach the way Andrew teach his subject matters. And I know he said, just do it the way you do it and you'll be fine. Hey, Desi, how you doing? Hi, Stephen. So I decided what I'm going to do. First of all, Jerome, you did an excellent job on Friday. Great job taking the lead, stepping up first. And if you guys don't know who Jerome Headley is, his YouTube channel is Unified Energetics, and he has a wealth of knowledge about the gut, the microbiome, the body, activations. He's had a near-death experience, and he has incorporated and brought all of this knowledge down to us, and absolutely fascinating. So go over to his channel, subscribe, hit the bell, get notifications when he goes, because he's absolutely amazing if you haven't done that already. And great job, Jerome, on Friday. And then we had Michael Rolla teach yesterday. I couldn't make that live, but I did back force and I watched that. It was excellent. And it actually helped inspire me and give me what I needed to be able to condense and put this in my style of teaching. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Michael, you were talking about, let me see, I have a few little notes here. You were talking about center points within your division, and that was, I think, the theme of what you were talking about. And you give excellent examples with your drawing, especially the one that was the pyramids, and then it turned into the Merkaba eventually. That was magical. I thought that was excellent. And I agree with you about Tina Sutherland. Holy wow. Your drawings for your homework and your tests and everything are beyond, like, I can't even comprehend that. So you should consider teaching too. Just saying. Love you, Tina. Hi. um, but Michael mentioned something. Yeah, so the Merkaba is your personal starship. We activate that. And you talked a lot about chakras and all of that. And I did want to mention, because you brought this up, I went and did Google search on the 12 chakra system. And in the healing teachings that I've done over the years, because I've been a Reiki master since '98 and other healing modalities, and some of the research that I've done on the chakra systems were basically just the 7 in the body system, always counting the root as the first one. And I saw some pictures on there and diagrams, and some of them are I don't want to say confusing, but they conflict with each other. So they'll have, like the 7 chakras, and then the 8th directly above the crown, then the 9th above that, and the 10th being down in the earth, and then 11, 12 up higher, universal being the highest one there. However, I found more pictures of, in just doing a Google search for 12 chakras and looking at images, there's all kinds of diagrams, and I suggest you guys do that, because some people have it starting with the first one. Other people have the one down in earth, which is labeled as 10 in other diagrams. They have that labeled as the first one. But the thing is, you have your field is connected through all your chakras as they graph out their energy, their line systems. Yes, they're portals, they're energy wheels, but everything connects through the graphing grids that are sent out through these vortexes. So I want to get in. You mentioned something about psychic line defense, and I loved it. It just triggered something in me, Michael. That was excellent. Hey, Priscilla, how you doing? Hi, Tina. Hi, Melissa. It's good to see you guys here. Thanks for joining me. I was saying early on, I was a little nervous about teaching because I don't teach in the same style, and I may have some of the vocabulary down for a few things, but I definitely don't have the kind of skill sets in vocabulary to be able to teach that. So I just incorporate it how I can. And like I was saying, I hope you guys enjoy this class. So I'm labeling this as psychic self-defense because I feel like we're we're coming to a point where there's a lot, we're awakened, we're doing our thing, we're high rising, right? And there's a bunch of people waking up, and there's been waves and waves and waves, and there's cosmic gamma force energy coming in, we're all ascending, we know this, right? But there's people that are waking up and ascending, and they're processing their purging, they're processing their ascension symptoms, which are the bodily, responses that we have to this massive energy influx. And some people just absolutely don't know what's going on. So they're going back to protecting themselves. They're going back to keeping those layers on top like their security blanket, instead of opening up and fully feeling what it is that's coming in. And that's one of the keys to personal healing as well, is feeling it and feeling it fully, whatever that may be. So how does that relate to psychic self-defense? Because when you hear that, you feel like, okay, I'm being attacked. Well, with my martial arts training background and the things that I've learned, I used to teach a class that was called psychic self-defense. And one of the things that I've always taught my students, especially in healing, and I bring this teaching into today because I haven't taught healing classes in a couple years. And one of the gems, if I have gems in there, I try to weave and bring it in from other teachings that I've had so that people can understand in a down to earth and practical way. How do you use your knowledge and your skill set when you're purging? How do you use what you know to high rise with your own permissions? And that's something everybody has to decide for themselves. That's why that's a personal journey, even though we're all on this journey together. So, hey, Stephen, my son's on too. How's it going? Let me see. This is the perfect topic. Oh, good. I'm glad, Desi. Infinity of gods is good all the time. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to try to keep up with the chat as I'm doing this. We'll see how that works because I usually get distracted. But if you guys have any questions while I'm talking, just pop them in there. You know what to do. So, okay. We've all seen what the fields are around your personal field. We all know what our auric field is. Oh, and by the way, anybody that's watching on my channel that's not part of the Galactic Force team or in our school, Andrew Weston is Unified Ascension. He has his own YouTube channel. He does classes every day. They're free. So you can just tune in and watch and see if it's something for you. If it is, great, join us. We have Facebook pages. We do on my channel every Thursday night, we do the live roundtable where we discuss things. And some things might seem to be over your head a little bit, but I promise if you stick around, you learn a lot more. So here we go. All right, your auric field is around you, okay? People that can see with their third eye that's activated, people that can see energy around people, can see colors. Some people can see just white energy. Other people see the darkness, the more dense energy, or where there's holes in your energy field. So let's just like jump ahead. We'll try to skip some of the basics and get to the psychic self-defense, because I got to a point where I was teaching people and in my own evolution where you don't really need psychic self-defense anymore. So that's the goal, is to get you guys all there. If you're learning about this for the first time, you'll probably realize that you already do these things, which is really, really cool. So once you kind of have that click that you're already doing it, you'll also have that understanding that you don't really need it. And that's it. That's all for today. Just kidding. So, all right. All right, where to start? So let me start with something very basic. And this is something you guys will probably laugh at, but I teach people this that aren't even my students. I bring this up when people say, I just can't think. I have headaches from all these ascension symptoms, or my body's hurting or aching, or I can't sleep. My mind's racing, these types of symptoms. We've all felt them. We all still continue to feel them. But when you become aware in that moment that your body is speaking to you, we learn how to listen to our body, just like, and here's the analogy you'll love, just like when you have to go to the bathroom. Whenever you have to empty your bladder or do the other end, when you go to the bathroom, you are purging your physical body, right? So while you're purging your physical body, that's 3D, it's your physical body, physicality. Why not take yourself into a higher plane, go into the spiritual realm, go into your energetic body and do your own scan? If you're clearing your physical body, why not clear your body, mind, and spirit? They're all connected. So why not clear your spiritual or your energetic body, your spirit, your soul? Let it come in. So you can use the techniques like visualizing white light coming in through your crown. And you can do this in one breath, just like that. One breath. You can breathe in. And if you take a couple, it might take a couple to get down the first couple times you do it. But in your in breath, you're visualizing white light coming in through the crown chakra. All right. As it's coming in through the crown chakra, you're bringing it down through your whole body like it's washing over you. This is why it's important to connect with water in the shower. When you're in the shower, you can do the same thing, the same clearing. Connect with the water. That's an element. You are made up. You have a lot of water in your body. There's debates on how much percentage, but there is a lot of water in your body. Just like there's a lot of space between the cells. So Michael was talking about the micro and the macro. So as you're bringing that white light down and you're clearing your body, if you're in the shower, use that connection of the water to clean your, not just your body. That's important, but that's 3D. You want to clear it all the way down, all the way down. And what I do a lot of times is when I connect with the water, I will bless it and I will send love and light back up through the water streams and down through the drains, just like your crown and your root chakra. They're facing up and down. And then the other chakras are all like funnels going out. And you guys already know this, I know. I get lost in some of the basics sometimes. So, okay, how does psychic self-defense come in? If you're using your now moment to stay in a multi-dimensionality state, a state of being that isn't 3D drama driven by triggers, and you'll get triggers in different parts of your body that'll tell you that. You'll hear something, you'll start to feel anxiety or things like that. They're triggers that your body's speaking back to you to tell you something's not in balance. Something is not center point. You're not center point in your division. You're not the point light activation. Okay. I want to get into something else too. So remind me if I forget to bring this up, but I want to get into self-initiations. All right. That's important because that's where this all leads to. So yes, golden showers. That's right. Hey, Jerome. So these types of techniques help you, and throughout the day, it will remind you to come back into your 0 point field, come back into your center point, so that your mind system is here in this now, and you're fully connected to both your body and your mind system, which just naturally connects you to your spirit. When you're hearing something that triggers you, if you remind yourself through the day to say, am I in, just like if you're going to lucid dream, you say, am I awake or am I dreaming? They're little reminders that you say so that it carries over into your sleep state. It's the same thing with your multi-dimensionality 0 point field. So you can say, am I in multi-dimensionality or am I in 0 point? Use a mantra or word or center point division. Am I multidimensional? Am I paying attention? Find something that works for you to remind yourself through the day to check it. Just like chores can be fun. If you have to do the dishes, are you going, oh God, I can't believe somebody just left this in the sink again and I got to do it again? Are you hearing your mind chatter complaining? Because if you are, that's the perfect place to make you aware to stop and make it a game. Everything's a game here. Just be a child. Be childlike. Make it all a game. Just like clean up, everybody, everywhere. Clean up, everybody, do your share. Everybody's learning how to take personal empowerment lessons from yourself. You're not expecting someone else or anything else on the outside to do anything for you. And that includes the own cleanup your own cleanup of your own personal body. So when you're working on cleaning it, Andrew's spoken about this many, many, many times about your chakras and getting to know your chakras. This is really back at the basics, guys. So if you're not doing chakra work or you haven't, I'm guilty of that myself. If you can find a time in the morning when you first wake up, like Andrew has said, it's really a great time to do personal resets to bring your field back in. And Michael talked a lot about the Tai Chi and all of that. I did Tai Chi back in 2014. I was in a class in college and I was taking Tai Chi as a little elective. I loved it. And I do slow energy movements with myself, just practicing using my energy, practicing projecting things out from my heart. It is a portal, but it's also within your field, and it can be a projection, just like your third eye can project a reality. All right, let me go back to where I was at. Psychic self-defense. As you're cleaning your body, here's a fun game to try. If you're, let's just use something as something that would trigger a lot of people, like especially if you have kids or you have roommates or anything like that. If there's something, say, that irritates you and it's left somewhere, and you stop yourself and say, okay, why am I triggered? Let's make this a game. What inside of me is this triggering? Why is this bothering me? Let's say you get back into your 0 point field. You get back into your center. You take a breath. That's the important thing. When I'm speaking fast, high rising, so my breathing and my vortexing is getting quicker and quicker, and that's okay. But I need to stay on topic, stay on point. So what I'll do is I'll connect my fingers here. I'll bring them down to my heart, and I take a breath. And it might take more than one breath to settle things down, but the slower you breathe, the more able you are to see things. In a technique in meditation, when you're breathing, if you notice that you're having a lot of thoughts, you'll notice if your thoughts are racing, you're breathing shallow and you're breathing faster than what you could be. So practicing on slowing your breath down and focusing on what is going through your field. And that ties back, I've talked about this in many videos, it ties back to knowing what your thoughts are. And some people get stuck on this because they haven't really done the multi-dimensional work through the chakra systems to really understand that your thoughts are not your own. You are not your thoughts. And you can tell the difference between a thought you create. So right now you're listening to me, my vision, my gridding, my voice gridding system, everything that I'm sending out to you is in a vision that I'm holding in my mind system for the entire group. Okay. You guys are hearing what I'm saying. You're relating it through your own filters. Okay. It's coming in through your ear system, and you're maybe watching, maybe listening, but you're hearing all this, and it's creating a vision in your field. When you guys are, when you're by yourself and you're practicing connecting to your center point in your division, and you're putting yourself in the center field, and you're balancing your right and your left, your night and your light, your male and your female, your yin and your yang. And thank you for those who corrected me on, I always say yin and yang, yin yang. I know what it is. Anyway, when you guys are bringing that back, even if it's just for a breath, you feel a frustration, you program yourself to trigger that awareness button. When you trigger that awareness button, you ask yourself questions. You can set up the program. You write the scripts for your program. And those questions that you're asking yourself, those reminders that you're asking yourself, are your scripts. They are your program. You are in charge of writing that. So if you want to use humor with that, you can. If you want to use a higher vocabulary for coding and all that, you can do that. If you're bringing it down, if you're coming up from a practicality of you're just starting this journey, and how do you determine what thoughts are yours and what thoughts are not yours? What is something that's coming through your field? You know, there's signals, there's all kinds of things we don't see on the spectrum of sight. There's so much more that we don't see. But when you start seeing that, you'll see it first in your mind system. So like the example of saying pink elephant, pink elephant, pink elephant. If you're imagining a pink elephant because that was said and triggered, where'd that thought come from? Did you trigger the thought in your head of the pink elephant, or did you respond to a trigger that I said, which created the vision of a pink elephant? Think about that one. It's important when you're trying to discern which thoughts are yours and which thoughts are not yours. And a lot of times the thoughts that are not yours are impulse. They come through as impulses. It's electricity. So a lot of times when an impulse comes through, it's an electrical charge that'll come through your field. And it's going to impact your field in some way if you have no multidimensionality connection state in your center point and you're not balanced. So throughout the day, something's coming through your field. Let's use an example of somebody who's having a bad day. You're sitting in a room or you're standing in the kitchen or wherever you are, and somebody walks into the room. Their energy field will affect your energy field. So their thought systems, their moods, everything that they are projecting out is going to affect your field until you learn how to not let it affect your field. And that's part of the psychic self-defense. So discernment is key in this, because while you're learning this, somebody's coming into your field, you can read them. They're projecting it out. You're not going into their field to violate a universal law of reading somebody and getting into their personal shit. Getting into their personal stuff. You're not doing that, because there's a whole bunch of tests along the way before self-initiations can take place, and natural and organic universal initiations. Some of those include integrity, apathy, well, definitely, self-trust, integrity. Are you coming from integrity? And one of those tests early on I got when I was training for Reiki, and there was a whole bunch of like series of tests at that time back in 98. And I remember one of them, my sister had been playing, a little sidetrack here. My sister had been playing softball for a team and was at a bar, and they were having some beers after, and she asked me to join them. So I went back there, and I was supposed to be the next day going to get my first initiation for Reiki. And as I was sitting there, I was about half done my beer, and I could hear a voice saying, do you want to know their thoughts? Because I was looking down the bar at somebody, and I heard, do you want to know their thoughts? And I was kind of taken back by that. I was like, what? And I was told, focus on this person and you will know what everything that they're thinking, or whatever the thought process was that I heard. I knew I had like a download that was like an immediate telepathic communication from somebody, and I knew where it was coming from. I knew the fellow that was sending this, and this was a test. This was like a universal test, because I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I knew not to violate someone else's free will by going into that person's field and reading them without their permission. So integrity is a big test. Now, after I left, I felt very uncomfortable. I wound up leaving, told my sister I wasn't feeling well, and left. And on the drive home, I went into that automatic state where I was like, you don't remember half the ride, sort of like a meditative state. But in that state, I could see the whole angelical realm, and I could hear like a celebration going on. I could hear the music, and I was like, oh, that was a test. So look, your integrity is going to be tested along the way, because like Andrew always says, with great responsibility comes great, with great awareness comes great responsibility, or great power comes great responsibility. It's the same thing. You're going to be tested. So back to your thoughts, because when somebody comes into a room and you're feeling their energy, when they're projecting that onto you, you're not violating anything, but you can discern, and that's the key. You can discern whether this is your energy or not your energy. It's really, really easy to practice this discernment about your energy field and someone else's energy field, because that takes you to the next level of knowing whether it's your thought or someone else's thought. But you have to practice at it. You have to become aware in your center point of division of what you are, what energy package, what point activation that you are. Once it's knowing thyself. And once you fully know yourself and you have that full grasp of your energy field, you'll know when something comes through your energy field that's not yours. You'll know if it's coming from your line division, center point, universal soul, seat of the soul. Okay, you'll know if it's coming from there or down from earth, up through your legs. You'll start to know when you're speaking truth. You'll get goosebumps. all up and down your legs. And you'll start to learn what the responses are, your bodily responses to all of these line formations, all of this energy, everything that you're feeling around you. Your body will tell you when you're speaking, when to slow down, when to speed up. You know, I'm still learning my force winding, you know, as you're force winding. There's actually a really good example. I don't know if you guys have seen on Netflix something called The Umbrella Academy. There's 2 seasons out now. The second season just came out at the very end of the second season. And it's a great watch because it talks about time travel and all kinds of stuff like that. It's really good. They're like a bunch of misfits that all have powers. They're all adopted and put into a family and they're supposed to save the world, yada, yada. Great watch if you're into that. But the last episode in the second season that's on there shows this child who's like autistic or whatnot, and he develops this force, and they show the force winding of his field while he's in the center. It's like he's the avatar, you know, and they're showing how the force wind goes. When you force wind at such a high velocity, nothing's getting into your field unless it vibrates at that level and above. So this is how your psychic self-defense, which I'll come back to in a little bit to give a few more keys and tips or gems or whatever you want to call them. But once you're force winding so strong, that outside layer of your aura, your field, it will expand and it will provide enough force to keep you center pointed and safe. And you control the speed of that force. And that's the thing, is when you feel like your mind's racing, you're going to, so take a second when your mind does that. If it's getting frazzled or distracted or anything like that, take a moment, come into your center with a breath, one breath, and try to imagine that force field around you. Try to connect with that vortexing, okay? Because that's going to give you that understanding that you don't really need psychic self-defense, because that becomes, you become your own defense system. Now, we can take that to a higher level if you want, or I could go back to talking about keys for psychic self-defense when you're getting started. Let me see. Tell me what you guys think. The OA. Yes, the OA is really good, Angel. And the OA, yep. The OA, Priscilla, the OA is a show on Netflix. That's a really good watch too. I loved it. I really wish they didn't cancel that, because they were going to take it to reality. They were going to bring it to the 3-dimensional, you know, reality in this time space, but they canceled it. There's so much, if you Google what the OA storyline was based on and everything, it is so deep. Of course they canceled it. They don't want you guys learning stuff. But anyway, I digress. So let's see. If you guys don't really have a preference, what I'll do, all right, I'll talk a little bit about the basics for the psychic self-defense when you're first high rising and you're first learning stuff, because you can't go from like A to Z. You have to go through the whole alphabet, right? So simple techniques. If you're at the point where you can pretty much discern someone else's energy from your own, someone else's feelings from your own, but you haven't yet established your thoughts from someone else's thoughts, it's a good idea to use the stop and wait rule. And that's just something I'm calling it. It's not really a rule, but it's a good technique to listen to your own thoughts before you speak. So practicing hesitation in speech before you speak will help you to not only formulate what thoughts you want to say, and I don't want to say censor yourself, but let's just say speak from a higher place. When you're speaking from a higher place, you're not using your ego. Your ego's sitting on the back seat going for the ride with you. You're speaking from a place of love. You're coming from a grounded, heart-centered place. When you're doing that, you're slowing down the speed in your velocity so that you can establish the thought forms that come through your field. So you'll be able to discern more whether that is something that you are getting a message from above, within you, within your center point, or whether that's a thought coming from somebody else projecting onto you. It gets to the point where you mesh those two, because you can feel if something is hitting your field. Now, when you start to get to this point, a psychic self-defense, a good thing to use, if you're in Reiki, the say hey key works phenomenal. That's like the horse's head. Okay, the say hey key does a phenomenal job. You can have it in your hand. You can draw it out here. You can visualize it with your third eye and project it out. If you're not into Reiki, you can still use your violet flame for transmutation. You can use a golden pure white light. Well, golden and pure white light are two different things, but you can still infuse whatever rays you are working with. The emerald ray for healing, the violet flame for transmutation. So white light is always good for clearing and purifying. So if you're using a say hey key, for all you Reiki people out there, the say hey key, you can have it right here in the space in front of you, and then you can literally swipe it into your field for multiples. You can do that with a thought. Just imagine like a deck of cards, and then or money or whatever it is, you know, flicking it. You can flick the symbols to whatever place you want. I used to protect the rooms by doing this, by placing them in the corner. And then I went beyond the say hey key. So if you're just starting in Reiki, or you're a Reiki master, or any level in between, and you're actively using those symbols, you know, it's great. You can use that one, but you're going to get to a point where you don't need the say hey key. Trust me on this. You won't need it. But it is a good practice. So you can have active protective mechanisms. It's like your security line defense, like Michael was talking about. He was talking more about sacred geometry. Okay, I think some of the symbols in Reiki are sacred geometry. There are other symbols that were used, I want to say maliciously. No, maliciously. Yeah, that works. Okay, so you have your psychic self-defense is you using from your heart center, pulling up through the earth, or pulling out down through the cosmos, and projecting out like you're the center point sun. You are the sun. You are a star. You are a burning light, center point division of holy light. Now, how big that is how big do you create that? How much do you trust that? Are you trusting yourself that that is true? Are you a spark of divinity and know it beyond any reason or rhyme or whatever? Do you truly know that within yourself? Because you are that point of light. And if you take a point of light, say a sun, say you take a sun and you bring it all the way down to a point. The sun is shining out in every single direction, every possible direction. Every line point that comes out from that sun, as it goes out further and further and further, there's more and more space between that. Okay, let me see, maybe I will draw something. I wasn't going to draw anything for you guys, but I think this deserves a quick draw. Don't laugh. Let's see. A stick figure. I can draw, actually. I just haven't put much time into it lately. But I wish I had different colors now. Okay. I'm going to give you guys a happy face too. So I can't see myself here because I have it on for comments. Let me see. Where am I? Make sure you guys can see this okay. Okay. My yellow pad. Okay, so there you are, happy in the middle. You're a sun, you're a center point division of light. This is your heart chakra. Okay, so there's many, many lines that go out in all directions. They come out this way, they come out towards the back, so at all degrees. As the line points go out further and further, there's a lot more space in between. Now, if you take this line point division and you add a pixel to the end of it, see that? Okay. As far out as your pixel goes, you can bring this all back in. So I don't know if I could draw this upside down, but let's say this is your aura. Don't laugh, guys. When you bring all these pixels back in, it forms a grid around your body. Let me draw this first and then show you. Okay, so you guys have probably already seen this and know what I'm talking about, but for those who don't, it like forms like don't laugh. It forms like a grid around your body. So as you pull all these pixels back into your aura, it forms your shield. So this is like your grid of your line defense around your body. I hope that made sense. I know, terrible drawing. I should draw some things in advance, show you. But if you get the idea, say my finger points to the line divisions coming out from the sun. Each one on the end has a coloration. They can be at different lengths. So some can be ahead and back and further. And just like the sun's rays don't always reach, if there's something in the way, it might stop here. Your pixel might stop here. It's a line of communication. So the end of that pixel, say that little tiny pixel right here. Let's say you want to create on this pixel. You want to create something. Within that box, you can create a whole scene, and you can encode that one little pixel or all of them in unity. It's like your cells working together. You can encode that one little pixel. And let's say I'm gonna create one right now. So let's say a line division's going out from my heart and it's coming out to you guys and it's in a box. Okay, the frequency system that I am putting into that one little pixel going out to you guys is the image that's in my mind system that I'm trying to convey to you. So I'm sending that, and I'm going to light encode that one little pixel that's going to you guys. I'm light encoding that so that you guys can see the whole vision of yourselves within the center of your field. And you can imagine it as a net, if you will, but each little square can go forward and backwards. It can go towards you and back. You can pull it in so that your box graphing system is around you, not box, but your graphing system is around you that's made up of all your pixels, and they can be nice and smooth and even. So that's your aura, and it's the base of your aura there. So it's like a netting around it. And you can project any one of those line formations in any direction from the 0 point. You can connect, send them. So if I'm sending you one of my pixels, contained in that little box pixel is a coded frequency that I'm sending to you guys. So if you receive that in your third eye, and you're receiving that by listening, by looking, by hearing, by feeling, that pixelation, that one little pixelation can do so much. You can program an entire world in that little pixel. I mean, that's mind-blowing, isn't it? But you instill your light codes when you send it out. A lot of times what we've done and we learn is you're projecting things out from your heart. But what is behind that? If you're looking at the light frequencies, the energy codes, if you're looking at all of the things that we've learned, what is behind that projection? It's a projection from the center point of your star, of who you are, that divine light spark in the center of your star. So you can send those out anywhere. Now, how does that relate to psychic self-defense? Well, if you look at somebody's aura who's got holes in it, who's got people stealing energy from you, think of those as the black cords that come in and they anchor in different chakras. A lot of times women will get them in their solar plexus. That's your power center. So a lot of times there'll be cords and different things. If you saw, like, say this is the one side of the aura and you could see somebody's cord coming in and through, it breaks through your pixel. So if you have all these little squares and they're forming a shield, think of how Spartacus, think of how they all put their shields up so the arrows don't hit and they make one formation. Think of your pixels as making your own formation of shields. So those square pixels on the end of each line formation all come together like a piece of a puzzle that seal you in your own protection. Now, when something comes in that's strong, if it's like, say it's like glass and it breaks right through and it comes in and it hooks you, or, it trigger like say like a programming trigger that's sent out through a sound frequency from, the cabal or whatever. If they're sending something out from somewhere and it breaks right through into your mind system, there's parts of your auric field that are weaker and stronger than others. So how do you strengthen that? You do that by knowing what it is, seeing that image, which I tried to send you with the pixelation that I sent out to you guys, knowing what that is and bringing it in to shield yourself. That's your psychic self-defense. Okay. When you feel something breaking through your shield, you want to set up the intention. Your intention is that when something breaks your line defense, when something is breaking through and stealing your energy or trying to get in to loot, feed off the loosh, if you have any fear going on, it's like this. If I'm holding up shields like this, okay, and each one of these each one of my hands is one of those tiny little boxes, at the end of the line. If I'm setting up my shield, but let's say I'm in fear, my pixel might be a little bit weakened because my hands are getting tired, right? My fingers getting tired, so I might lower my defense. When you're in fear, you're sending out energy waves to your own system that's part of you. You're sending out a coded message to drop the shield a little because you're in fear. So when you stay out of fear, when you have that knowing, and it's that trust and knowing, and it's integrity based, that you are that power, that you control that, you're going to be holding those shields up like no problem, because you'll be force winding. And that centrifugal force that's going round and round and round is your own energy sealing your defense mechanisms. So your auric field will expand, but the force wind will seal it. And you can bring that energy in yourself and breathe it out. It's controlled with your breath. So when you're taking a deep breath in and you're blowing out that energy, taking a deep breath in, bringing in your light, whatever you're doing, but you're being aware at the same time on a multidimensional level of where your aura is, where your field expands to, and you're aware of the velocity of the spin. That velocity is going to seal in your own defense mechanisms. So you don't really need self-defense, but becoming aware of it is what psychic self-defense is all about. It's becoming aware so that you can take the power back and become that empowered individual who is ascending. And this will lead right into, I guess, this will lead into your own initiations, because a lot of times the natural and organic and universal initiations that you receive, they come to you out of the blue. They'll hit you like one of these waves that comes in for the ascension waves, the gamma lights that's coming in. When you see the Schumann resonance going, it's been said that the Schumann resonance is the psychological state, the measurement. And I've talked about this on my channel earlier. You guys can go back and watch those if you want. But we were reading the Schumann resonance wrong. And I think Michael Love was the one who brought forth a correction in that. Not really sure, but I think I heard it from him. Anyway, I digress. So when you know there's waves coming in, a lot of times people like us who are open to galactic work, and we're open to our galactic selves, and we're starting to trust what's happening of being in the future. You're going to feel the Schumann resonance measurement waves. You're going to feel it before. You're going to feel it a little bit in advance. That's a gift. That is a gift. So if you feel it a day or 2 or even 3 before, I'm in this somewhere between the 1 and 2 day period. When you're feeling it in advance, you can give out warnings to people, and then you can go check the Schumann resonance live and see what's coming in. The next couple days, it's going to be pretty still, but there's been a lot of people who went through quite an explosion over the last week. So when people feel like they're falling apart or they don't know what's going on, they're falling apart because their old systems are breaking down. And this is good because you're ascending. It's like coming out of that chrysalis and becoming the butterfly. We've heard all these analogies. So Priscilla, yes, you're talking about it doesn't go higher than 40, right? Because after 40, there's another one that measures the power, and that's different. But 40 and above is like 5D, New Earth and above. So yes, there's definitely 2 to check on. If you want to put any links in there for everybody, that would be great. Your toroidal field, thank you for bringing that up, Angel. Your toroidal field, up, in, out, and around. Up, in, out, and around. Now, if you really want to play with it, you can play with stopping that motion and reversing it. I learned some of those things when I was learning Reiki, because we were learning how receiving in through the left hand and giving out through the right hand, but you can reverse that. You don't have to do that. You can command that energy to any way you want. You can receive, generally speaking, that's the way it'll flow, but you can reverse that. And another healing method, this was an interesting one, I'll just throw this at you guys too, is the Quan Yin healing method. And it's ancient. It's one of the healing modalities. It's breathing in. I think I talked about this on the round table one time maybe, but breathing in energy. So say somebody across the room is having cramps or something like that. You can breathe in their pain, their physicality, pain. You can breathe in the root cause of something. You can breathe it into your left hand, swirl it around in your heart, calling in the violet flame and mixing it with the white and sending back out white loving energy. So it's like a big circle, right? Breathing in, transmuting, breathing back out and sending back the love. So, all right, that's just a little side note. Okay, now refocusing causes location issues. Explain a little more detail on that, Angel. 40 to 100 is 5D. Yes, that's right. I've also been shown that the red on that Schumann resonance is 7D, because a lot of people were just teaching it only goes at 5D, blah, 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 but 5D has been infiltrated. You know, there's beings that are ascending as well that are also, but anyway, 7D and above, and the red around, you know, the white was the biggest one. They said the 5D and all that, but what's the red? The red's 7D. Okay, so I want to open this up, see if you guys have any questions. I don't think I missed anything because I've been having my comments in the front the whole time. False evidence appearing real is fear. Kenneth Harvey, sorry. I think I pronounced that wrong, but yes, fear is false evidence appearing real. Absolutely right. And anytime, you know, I still get triggered too. Everybody gets triggered with certain things, like when I go out to the store and I don't wear a mask. You know, I for whatever, I'm not going to get into all the political and all of that, but I don't wear a mask. And when I go into the store, I sometimes have a fear that I'm going to trigger other people. So trying to balance that, I was wearing a bandana a little bit, but it was rolled all the way up. So it was a little triangle just over my mouth because I couldn't breathe with it. I can't breathe with the mask. I don't want to get into all that. But my son and I went to the store the other day, like 2 days ago. And for the first time, 2 people said something to us. And they were announcing something about the state mandate in the store, and everybody has to wear a mask. And the lady walks around the corner and points at her bright red mask at me, and she points at it. She pointed at it. And I just looked at her and I said, oh, thank you. I said, medically exempt. And then she goes, oh, sorry, you know. And then we had a manager try to force a mask on us to wear it. And I said, our doctor told us it's more dangerous to wear a mask with our condition. We're medically exempt. Thank you for doing your job, though. So more bees with honey than vinegar. If I tried to argue about what a state mandate is and all of that, not going anywhere. It's not going to work. All right. Anyway, let me see what else we got going on here. You guys have any more questions? Let's see. It's incredible when you realize that we're all ready doing these things. Yep, we are. What are the signs that your shield has been broken? Oh, good question, Desi. So learning how your body responds to things starts at the basics, right? So if you're speaking something and you get the chills, and let's say it runs up and down your left leg or your right leg, it's learning what your body is signaling to you. So what may be true for my body communicating with me might not be the same for you. But let's just say on a basic level, if I get a physical sensation, that triggers me to go in and find out, why am I feeling that? So I'm going within my body to go down to that area or check it out. The chills have been, there's different spots if I'm speaking to someone directly on my arm, or different signals that I get. So you might get a different set of signals, but that's okay because you're learning what your body's telling you. It's when it happens a couple different times and then you start to realize, like, oh, this happens every time I'm speaking my truth. You'll get at that as your soul wants you to be able to speak your truth and use your voice and grid. So people that have had throat chakra issues and everything and getting healings and clearings, you're working on things, we're all doing better. So as you're speaking your truth, you may get a little reward, which is a big signal, a bigger signal, because maybe we haven't paid attention to signals in the past. So if you start speaking your truth and you keep getting chills down your right arm, and you know you're connecting with the soul level, you know you're channeling that. It might be a different type of response when somebody else is hearing your truth and really understanding it. That's a big one, because for me, that's a total body chill. That's a total body response. It's like saying they get it, you know, and you guys are giving me chills right now. So you get it. Thank you. Oh gosh. Okay. So it says, hey, Carla. I don't see Carla in here, but hello, Carla. Yeah, there you are. Hi, Carla. Welcome. So, all right, let's see. And how do you know if it's your thoughts or not? Well, Desi, I think when you start to get to know what your body signals are telling you, yes, you'll feel it physically, but you can go into your thought system. And this is like step 2, or say more advanced. Once you start listening to your body, like let's say someone's trying to, oh, let's use telepathy because we're all on the telepathy page now. We all got that going on. So this is a really good explanation because I can't stay wide open to everybody's telepathy all the time because it's too much. So I have it open for Andrew, and I have it open for certain times on our Galactic team if somebody needs me. There's things that get to be just too much. So you have to use your own internal security defense line mechanisms, but you can call it your security defense team. So it can be, you can make that as little guides. You can make that as light is intelligent. So you know how like light could appear to you as a being, or it could appear to you as a bird or a dog or whatever the synchronicity is, whatever you understand, especially in dream time, you get all the symbols of what you understand best. So let's say you have somebody who's trying to sit on your brain. I like to put it this way because my dog used to do this to me years ago. He used to sit on my brain whenever he wanted water. He would be like, hound me and hound me. And I keep getting these thoughts of like an open spigot. Well, my friend used to get those, but my dog started doing that too. And it's like, oh, my dog, a brat sitting on my brain again. So if you have people that are hounding, well, you don't want to have that open because it gets to be too much. It's heavy. You can feel it. But the thing is, if you have your psychic self-defense up, if you have your own security system paying attention, you can charge them with, let me know if it's important. Bring the, they know what vibrate. You can set the tone. You can set it for 7D and above. Nobody under 7D gets through. You can give orders for, let this be for the rest of the day. You set your systems in the morning. You can also set them indefinitely. So until I say otherwise, boom, and state your intention. So you'll have that. Now, what you can also do is you can trace back using your thoughts, using your mind system, channeling those thoughts so that you can follow back something that comes into your field and find out where it's coming from. Is it something that you just need to transmute as it comes through your field? Say it's like, oh, and this could get into some interesting security work too. Let's say there's a trigger that's sent out by a 5G tower, or something on the news that's on a bad mainstream media channel. And let's just say there's a signal that's sent out and it's trying to trigger fear. Okay. I won't get into any specifics because you could be triggering people to do like assassinations from MK Ultra and all that kind of stuff. We won't get into that. Let's just say it's triggering fear. And let's say it hits you and you go, oh, well, that's not my thought. Where's that coming from? You can ask that question. You can go within and trace that back to where it's coming from. Now you can hand it back to them on a silver platter. Here you go. This is not for me. Don't bother me again. You can have a discussion with the source. And if the source is something that's like too big to handle, you can call in the team to take care of the problem. But that's when it gets into active galactic work. Because when you don't need to do that right away, but if you're ready for that, go for it, because we're still cleaning up. We're doing a lot of work. If I'm tracing a signal back to a certain, let's just say, pick a multimedia news channel, not multimedia, pick a broadcasting system, okay? If a broadcasting system is sending something out, you can go back and like disable that from a galactic level on that point system. You could blow out that satellite if you wanted, but we don't want to destroy anything. We just want everything to ascend. We want it done in a healthy, healing way for humanity. So anything that's creating dis-ease or creating fear or anything like that, it needs to be stopped. So when there's security issues with the grid system, with the satellite systems, with the communication systems, with the broadcasting systems, and a lot of that work's already been done, but when there's an issue like that that's still going out, it could even be a YouTube channel that you're seeing that you're like, yo, whoa, what's that? No, you can just leave if you want. Or you can step up and you can call in your own team. You can call in the Galactic Force team. You can call in your personal light team. You can create your own team with your guides and angels. You have them. They're at your access. So find what works for you to either handle the either stop the problem from coming into your field or take it to the next step and heal the problem, fix the problem, call in help to work on that problem so that it's ascending in light and love and sending out the right signals. So I hope that answered your question, Desi. I don't know if that was too much or not. Let me see where we at. Oh, I missed some here. Oh, give me 1 second, you guys. I'll catch up. Yeah, you do. Carly, you're right. You can feel very, very drained when that's happening. So paying attention to your body is really, really important. I love you too. You definitely get chills when it resonates. Yes, you do. You know, truth speaking, if you line divide, you align yourself. I think you were answering that from an earlier thing you said, right? Line division is specific. Yeah. Energy, synergy. Yeah. Oh, nice. That last crop circle was amazing. Was that did you post that today, Andrew? That was really amazing. I was seeing like a flower of life, but like inside out. That's what it felt like. It felt like the flower of life unfolded itself. I don't know if anybody else got anything on that. Let's see. You're right. Priscilla says, the thing is, I think there are no rules, all about what we believe we can do. Bingo. And you get the synchronicities, you get the alignments, you get the verifications, which is really important for the ego because the ego doesn't want to let go until, willingly will ascend when it knows you're going to be safe. So you're not going to be safe if you're still in fear. So the ego still keeps trying to keep you there. So it has to be a team effort to trust yourself that these things are happening. And a lot of times the trust in yourself comes from practice, and it comes from verification and validation and synchronization. And when that all aligns like that, but see, you can even have all of that. You can have a magical, magical day. And then the next day still be like, was that really real? What does that really mean? Because I'm still in this reality, and you can still question things. So question everything, but move forward, always move forward with as little fear as possible. Try to transmute the fear when you feel fearful. Just try to transmute that, because you do get to a point where you're going to be getting initiations. And most of you guys on the team have already gotten a lot of initiations, and Andrew has done a lot of healing work and everything, but it opens you up to be able to have initiations with merging, like your higher self merging in. Now you're working on your soul and your galactic self and all of that. So let's see. Synergy makes sense. Rainbows and stars. I would come across into another timeline, into our now moment. Yeah, Jerome, that's right. You like my feather? I actually made that on one of my apps. I have a sacred geometry app, and I like to make that and feathers. So it was informative. Thank you, Desi. Magnificent. Priscilla, I love you. I love you guys all. All right, crop circles was same layout for correct. Andrew's crop circles was the same layout for Galactic Heritage cards. Was it? That's awesome. Okay, Desi saying, I think I've had many of these tests you mentioned before and failed miserably. No, you did not, because I didn't believe I could do it. What happens when you fail those tests? Okay, how do I say this in the most understandable way? We always look at ourselves and judge ourselves like an artist judges themselves the most harsh, right? So we always judge ourselves the most harshly. And if we feel like we failed something, I like to look at it as not failing, but experiencing something. So you're experiencing what you don't want. So if you want to call it a failure, you can, but that's going to keep you in a polarized state of failing and passing. And like Andrew says, there's no wrong answers. You're experiencing something that maybe didn't work, or something that showed you something. But what did you get from that experience of what you call a failed test? It's not a fail. It's an experience to give you the confidence that if you had to do it again, you would do it differently. But the key is not just knowing it, because you know if you did something one way and you say, oh, I totally wouldn't do it that way again. That didn't have integrity. That was my ego, or whatever you might come to the conclusion of. Once you come to that conclusion, the key is going to be the universe is going to give it to you again, because remember, lessons are repeated until they're learned. It's a lesson. It's a lesson in experience. What will you choose now if the same situation presented itself? That's the key. And knowing that you're going to move forward with integrity, um, that's the important thing. That's how I see it. I don't see it that you. I don't see it that you fail anything. It's just experience. All right, there's a couple comments on here. Angel, tell me if you can see those comments that are hidden. So I guess if somebody says a curse word or something, it might hide it. But if you see that, if you can show it, that's okay. I don't care if you guys curse in there. I mean, I try not to. I stop myself. But if it comes out and it's listed as a hidden comment, Angel, feel free to go ahead. You're the gatekeeper here for me. So no, there's never any wrong. You're right. And angelfish, only when you own it too, though. Capiche? Capiche. Yes, absolutely. So, all right, you guys, if you have any questions right now, we're at the hour mark. So if you have any questions about what I said, I want to see if I covered everything I wanted to talk about. I think I did. I know I digressed a little bit. I hope you like my style of teaching, because it's just me. I probably will never be able to talk in the codes the way Andrew does. Although it's funny, although there have been times like I hear it all telepathy, but I just don't want to be teaching my galactic knowledge that I'm saving for the team, because there's too many people out there that need this down to earth kind of teachings. You know, we need to have it in a practicality kind of way. So my diamond grandbaby says hi. Hi, Aubrey. Linda, make all members moderators, only noobs be other. Well, if everybody's a moderator. Oh, I know what you're saying. Okay, well, we'll see about that. We'll talk about that. So you guys, anybody see the Down to Earth on Netflix with Zac Efron? Zac Efron? I watched one episode. My son's girlfriend, Juliana, who's in here now, she put an episode on for me, and they were living, you know, he was visiting a place where they were living off the land, and it was like a commune and that kind of thing. And it's called Down to Earth. And when I saw that, I was like, yay, because I wrote a book called Down to Earth, and it's common sense, spirituality, and self-empowerment. So you guys, if you're not aware of that, I did put out a book. There's like 5 typos in it, and I can't fix it because of laptop issues, hard drive lost, all the editing that I had on that, I can't re-edit and upload. So if you want to, you know, I'll tell you what, anyone who lives in the United States or Canada, sorry, Australia, sorry, London, I mean, I could try, but if anybody wants to make a donation to my site to help me cover costs for next month or anything like that, I will send you a copy of my book. So if you make a donation to my PayPal, just make sure that you use an email that I can get in touch with you, so I can ask for your address, and we'll see about postage and all that stuff. But anyway, I don't think we have any more questions. I think we're all good to go. I love you guys. Don't forget to go to each other's YouTube channels and make sure you subscribe. Jerome is Unified Energetics. Excellent. Banged it, knocked it out of the park on Friday. I love your wealth of knowledge. And Michael, excellent, excellent job. Yesterday, he was so on point. I was just like, oh my God, what am I going to do? But but here we are, and I'm done. And I hope you guys liked it. So have a wonderful, wonderful day. I love you guys. And I will see. Oh, wait. I know I have a hard time wrapping things up, don't I? Let me see. Sara, are you there? We got you on for tomorrow. So for anyone who's not a member of the Galactic Force team and you're watching this, we have substitute teaching going on. And yes, there's a Kindle version. And you know what, Andrew, go to any of my older videos in the description box. There's a link for it there. So you can get it in Kindle or hard copy if you want to buy it direct. If you just send something to, if you send a donation to my PayPal, just put a little note in there on my website. It's also in the description box for most of my videos. teachpeacedesigns.com. There's a donate button under sessions, and in there you can type in any amount. It's like an other, and you can type in whatever amount you want. If you want to donate a couple bucks or whatever, that's great. Thank you. I hate asking for money. It's very uncomfortable for me, but I'm not asking for money. If you guys want something, I'll give you an exchange. Anyhow, and you will get the one with typos, and I'll autograph it for you. So we've got Sara for Monday and Priscilla for Tuesday and Angel for Wednesday. If that's wrong, let us know in the Facebook group if I don't have that right. And I would love to see Tina come on and do something. And, I think she would do an amazing job. And if you're not ready for that, that's fine too. But I hope you guys all are. And yes, Down to Earth. That's the name of it. If you if you search for it, it's really, really, really low in the numbers, like as far as like really high in the numbers. So it's not like anywhere near like top selling. I've only sold a few copies of it, but click the link under my description box in a past video and it'll take you directly to it, because somebody told me they couldn't find it when they searched for it, but that's what it looks like. So I don't know if you can see that or not. Sorry if there's a reflection from my light here. All right, I think that's it, you guys. I love you all, and see you in the group. Have a great day. Bye, guys.